Hi, I'm Candace Suarez, Executive Director at Optimum Ed.
And I'm Tom Leahy, Managing Partner at Optimum Ed.
Today we're going to take you on a tour of our platform. And what this will do for you is it will be a one-stop shop for you to be able to organize your entire college application process. It will be a place to communicate with us, your coaches, and also to keep yourself organized so you don't have 20 folders on your kitchen table.
So here's our student, Jack Smith, and when he signs in, and again, this is secure and private. Each student has their own login credentials. There's an advisor side and there's a student side, so we can communicate through this portal and we can also share documents. So first thing we always do is we ask the student to go to his profile or her profile and make sure that all the information is correct. I point out that it's, there's a place here for GPA, and that becomes very important as we move forward, and we'll explain why. Then we want to take a look at testing. So this is SAT, ACT, those scores can be captured as well, and that is also important. We'll take a look at that when we get to the college page. We have a calendar that is preloaded with testing dates, appointments that we've made with the student, and the important part here is that this calendar can be merged with other calendars. So if the student wants to put everything in one place, it can be done that way. So they're not jumping around to 3 different calendars. They just have one place to go to. Homework. We have a meeting and we assign work for the student to do in terms of their college planning ahead of our next meeting. That will be listed here. All the email traffic back and forth is maintained here. And there's under the Files tab, we have put in a lot of folders with a lot of just basic planning information that's available for the student and parents to look at. Their academic and career assessment results are here as well. It's very concise and very organized, and we don't have to have a bunch of paper laying around on the dining room table. We go back up to colleges. This is really where most of the work is done. So we can, as an advisor, suggest colleges to the student on our side, and he can take a look at those and pull them over to his list if he thinks that they're appropriate or something that he would want to include in his schools that he's going to apply to. He can add his own, obviously, through that function. And you know what? We can even look geographically where those schools are located. So we click on a school. It opens up a great amount of information about that school. Here, the statistical page. You can see all the different information that's available. And down here, this is where I pointed out testing and GPA. We can overlay the student's GPA and test scores on top of the profile for that school's freshman class. So we can see Jack's GPA is 3.9. Their average at Alabama is 3.82. So he's right there with the majority of the students there. His test scores are the green on top of the 50% performance for the school. So he's right there in the middle of the 50% group. How competitive is Jack? Well, as an advisor, we can look at this and say it's very possible that Jack could get into that school. And again, we go in and color code. So blue is possible, right? So you can just really quickly look and see what kind of array of schools in terms of competitiveness the student has. And he has a good group here. He's got 3 reaches. He's got some possibles and a couple of schools that we think are very likely that he can get into, and that's what's important. So let's go back to Alabama. So when you look at this, there's the stats page which we're on now. There's a notes page where if you visit the school or do any research, you can make notes so you don't forget what you've thought or seen. Programs, instead of jumping around to different websites, all the college majors are listed right here. And this becomes important, the FIS guide. Most schools have a FIS guide, which is a narrative explanation of culture and history of the school. In this environment where a lot of schools are still closed to on-campus visits, and we may get there again, we need tools to determine whether it's a good fit or not. The FIS guide combined with virtual tours, which is under our resource tab, those two come together can give us a pretty good idea of whether it makes sense for us to apply to Alabama or any school that we're looking at if we can't visit. Obviously, we want to set foot on campus before we sign on the bottom line, but in terms of the planning process and determining where we're going to apply, that's a great plan B if we can't visit. Once we have our schools and we know, where we're going to apply, then we come up with a strategy in terms of, are we going to do early action, early decision, regular decision, and all that's put in, set that all up, regular decision date for Alabama, and then the pieces of the transcript that need to be completed. We can keep track of it. It makes it very efficient, very organized, and keeps everybody on track. Here you can see chronologically, they're listed in terms of deadlines. The other thing we can do through the platform is we can create a spreadsheet of the schools that we're looking at and compare any number of data points side by side. Very powerful tool. Again, instead of trying to write stuff on a piece of paper or jumping back and forth between websites and trying to keep things in your head, what's important can be put right here on a spreadsheet so you can do that side by side comparison. For example, one of the things I like is retention rate. How many freshmen are coming back for their sophomore year to that school? I think that's very telling in terms of the quality of the program. So those kind of things we can compare. And then I want to just jump back again to the Files tab. As a client, as a student that works with Optimum Ed, one of the things we help with is how to pay for college. So we help with determining whether there's going to be financial aid eligibility and what that's going to look like. And one of the things we do also provide is access to a scholarship, an outside or private scholarship search engine through our partnership with Sally Mae. So the student goes in here, puts in their profile, all the things that they're doing, family information, and it provides a list of private or outside scholarships that meet that profile that you can look to apply to. It gives you deadline dates, how much the scholarship is for, and a link where you go to apply. So this is a tool that we have available so that we touch everything that has to do with paying for college. So when we talk about the application process, there's various pieces to that process, right? There's, you have to get transcripts, you have to get letters of recommendation, we have to fill out the Common App, and part of that Common App are writing requirements. There's a personal statement that has to be done, and maybe there's supplemental requirements as well. So we can also, through this site, manage the essay requirements. So they're all listed, in terms of what's required, and it gives you, what the prompts are that we need to write to, and so we can manage that whole writing piece here on the platform very efficiently. So we're not, writing more than we need to. So in summary, a very powerful tool that we put in the hands of our students so that they can be efficient, organized, and stay on track through this whole process of applying to college.